struggles,
innovation,
going all in,
not holding back,
mindset,
being a leader,
paving their own way,
putting the real in real estate,
listing legacies, selling luxury. You have The Vault.
unlocking conversations in real estate today.
And we're live with The Vault. I'm Jess, and this is my co-host, Alexa Miller. Alexa, who do we have the privilege of interviewing today?
We are interviewing our team member, Lisa Brocklebank. Lisa has been a realtor for 7 years in the Grey Bruce area and currently lives near the beach with her family in between Port Elgin and Southampton. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us today.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So let's jump right in and tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, currently live in between Southampton and Port Elgin, but grew up in Bruce County down outside of Walkerton on a hobby farm. My parents both worked off the farm, but wanted us to have that lifestyle of hard work and living on a farm and getting up every morning and doing the day. Went away to school in Toronto for university. I went to Ryerson for business. And when I was done those 4 years, I knew that city life wasn't for me and moved back to the Walkerton area. When I moved back, my first job was with one of the area Community Futures Development Corporations, which is a non-traditional financing institution. If you're a small business or a medium-sized business looking to start up or expand, we had a pool of money at our disposal. At our disposal to lend out to businesses that are looking to start up and didn't have those 3 years of financial history that traditional banks are looking for, or they were looking for money for inventory, which banks at that time didn't loan for, and I don't know if they do yet or not. So we were that other avenue for getting financing to get their business off the ground. So that I really enjoyed that aspect, that job. I was working with a lot of self-employment benefit people that were on EI and looking to start up their business instead of looking for a new job, take life into their own hands and start up their own business.
That's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. Working one-on-one with them day in, day out, week in, week out, and every month just to make sure that they were on track for the year to accomplish their goals with their business and personal as well.
Wow. So you had the opportunity to see new businesses come in, and like you said, you needed that 2 to 3 year income where some of us don't have it. Mm-hmm. I've been there before too, where you're like, they won't give it to you because you're starting a business.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
You don't have a proven track record.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
yeah, these were, now that being said, the loans for the businesses were a little bit higher interest. But we really worked with them and wanted to see them succeed, and built that relationship with them and gave them tools or additional help where they needed if we saw that they were falling short. Whereas a bank, a lot of people tended to shy away from the banks if they were struggling. But we worked with them and found those struggles before they became too big, too unsurmountable.
Right. So. I know we'll jump into real estate in a minute, although did those skills help your real estate career?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And it's something that I've seen a number of times on different forums that I read or different podcasts that I listen to, they don't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
They know the forms. They know how to write the forms, how to document an offer, but they don't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this gave me a lot of insight into that startup and then looking forward to expansion.
Yeah. That's a really good point for viewers out there, that to me there is a difference between business and a job. Mm-hmm. And I see it all the time where I'm running a business and then, well, no, what you're doing right now is a job. And there are very different aspects to each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in real estate too, for even thinking of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when you're talking about your business degree in university, what was that entailing? What was the specifics of that?
So when I first went into university, I had initially thought that I was going to be a CA, become a CA, or a chartered accountant.
Right.
So I geared a lot of my choices around finance and accounting, obviously. Ended up not focusing on the accounting end of it. Didn't feel, it was a lot less working with numbers and a lot more working with theory. And I that didn't jive. Numbers jive for me. So it wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
So geared then in third and fourth year closer to finance and marketing.
That's good. That's amazing. And I feel like that's so common in university. I did the same thing. I switched my whole degree. And I hear people say all the time they get there and they realize it's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it's brave to switch.
Yes.
At least mine was still within the same degree program. I commend you. What did you start going?
I started with psychology, and then I switched to environmental studies and geography.
Wow.
And did 2 minors and a major. And then thing is that when I switched, I had to start back into first year.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I got half semester exempted. So yeah, I was there for longer.
Good for you, though, for understanding that wasn't what you wanted to do and being miserable.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's for viewers out there too. If we're thinking real estate, and is it for you or is it not for you? And really deciding, doing that internal reflection and thinking, is it for me? We know when 87% fail in the first 3 years, and we tough it out, and sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I just don't think it is, or absolutely it is.
Yeah.
The problem too with real estate is some people will figure that out when they're doing their courses, like you would if you're going to university, and then the other half you truly don't know until you start, unfortunately. And you just put all this money into it, and then you get into the field and then you realize it's not for you. So, it's unfortunate, but
money and time.
Money, time, and your why. Again, we keep coming back to your why. Is it strong enough to pull you through? And are you focused enough on what it is? Because that will take you through.
And I'm hoping that as Humber College, because how many years have they been delivering the course?
I think 1 now.
Yeah,
one or just one,
2, 1 or
somewhere
2.
around there.
Well, when Adam started, it was Humber taking over it.
Was it?
So that would be at least 2, 3.
Yeah,
because we've
2 or 3
been
years
selling
ago.
for now 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that they continue to develop that program and work in a lot more of the business aspect of running your own real estate practice, and also give them a little bit more, like even if they incorporate an internship so that they can shadow someone like yourself or like Adam or like Alexa, to give them a good idea, good sense of what this business actually is about. Because it can beat you down.
It is. It's the long hours, the nights. When we go to kids' soccer games, Adam's on the phone doing deals. I'm taking this, and then we switch. And then, there's never a dull moment.
Yeah. And like we were talking before we started recording, it's 24/7, 3 weeks straight. Yeah. Right? If you're busy, you've got to make hay while the sun shines. Right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, and how did you come into real estate?
Well, going back, worked with the Community Futures Development Corporation out of Hanover started there in 98, and my daughter was born, my second child was born in 2007, so after my maternity was over with her, decided I wanted to change. So 2008, started doing some consulting work with a local retail business to help her out with some hurdles that she was having. And from there, it was contracts with the County of Bruce in economic development, went back to another Community Futures Development Corporation. And I was always on contract work. Never have I ever had full-time employment.
Wow.
So I was always at the mercy of someone else, and decided after my last contract with the county that now was the time for me. I was going to take matters into my own hands, be accountable to myself, and had always thought about real estate, I remember back when I was a kid being up in my room, getting graph paper from my mom's desk and drawing out floor plans. I had initially, when I was like 10 years old, thought I would be an architect. And then for whatever reason, that dream, that goal got kiboshed in high school. And I don't really know why, but always had an eye towards real estate and houses and how people lived their lives. And thought after my contract with the county ended in 2016 that I would work towards real estate. I couldn't at that point go back to school for architecture. Financially and personal, just with a family of 3 kids now, I couldn't do it. So real estate was something that I could do from home while my kids were at school, and then still be there when they got off the bus.
Yeah. It's a whole new world with kids in real estate. It's a whole new ballgame. So you've had experience already being being self-employed and having only contract work and not having a regular paycheck come in. Yeah. So you're used to real estate.
Used to real estate and used to understanding that the money that comes in, you can't just spend it right away.
Yeah.
Because you have to, I'm one of those people that a little bit more risk adverse and will have that nest egg of somewhere between 3 to 6 months of household expenses saved up, so that I'm not reliant and not having to live paycheck to paycheck.
And that's your accounting hat on. And for our viewers out there, this should be an episode 2, Alexa, where we talk about taxes, expensive, having no deals for how long, we don't know, and being able to manage and still keep the marketing aspect up and the leads coming in. It's a whole other area of its own.
Oh, for sure. And understanding that you need to budget out for that, for sure. And we can't predict the market. We can't predict when our next deal is going to come. And that's, even so far as taking, as soon as that paycheck does come in, that commission check does come in, taking out the HST that we collect on that, and taking out whether it's 20%, 35%, whatever it is for your income tax for the end of the year, and setting that aside in a separate account so that you're not hit with that huge tax bill at the end of the year.
It's a lot, and for some agents, I know we forget, and then we get this tax bill and we think, oh my gosh, and then we're running again. How does Terry always say it? You're only as good as your last deal. It's so true.
She says she always wakes up in the morning as if she's starting over with no business, which is really cool to think about.
It's so
with the same enthusiasm, the same motivation as if it's your
first day every day.
Job.
Like school.
That's awesome. So what would you say is your biggest success so far in real estate?
That I'm 7 years in and still here.
That's good.
I think every year I've been able to build. Not just financially, yes, that's it. That has come for sure. But every year helping more families, and every year learning more and being more confident in when I'm out talking to a new client or talking to like a new buyer or a new seller, or talking to someone about a new type of transaction that I've not been a part of.
Becoming that expert, right? And we're constantly learning. Like that's why our team and the agents on this team are so immaculate. It's the learning, the education that everyone puts in behind it,
and understanding that I don't know it all. That I am learning every single day. And being open to learning and not thinking that I've got all the answers, because I don't. I could be in this business for 30 years and not have all the answers. So always wanting to learn and improve.
And I think I've heard Terry say before, I don't know.
Let
me know the answer.
And you'll never accurate, know everything.
These top producers are also acknowledging that we don't know. So
and top producers, all the top producers I know have their own coaches. And they've been in it for how long?
That's why they're top producers,
right?
Because they understand that they the top basketball guys, they have coaches. The top MMA fighters. They have coaches.
Yeah. Coaching is so vitally important for everyone's business. You know, if you're listening right now and you're considering a coach, you got to go for it. Absolutely. For sure. So let's back up when you're saying, you know, a little bit of your history. Do you also have investment properties?
Yes. Yeah. So we dove into that just recently. Wish we would have done it 10, 15 years ago.
And you've had a lot of success with it.
We just have one right now. We have 3 properties. Personally, we have 3 properties total, but just one of those is an investment property. And that all came about because of the team here and our constant learning within the team. I'm not sure who brought them in. I think it might have been Terry.
Yeah, it was Renata and I forget the other lady's name.
Tracy.
Yes,
Renata and Tracy. They came up in November of 2020, I think, and did a talk. Renata is a top producer down in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, and just explained to us how she runs her business. And a lot of it is on referral. She doesn't do any traditional lead generation where she's cold calling or door knocking. She works on a lot of referral basis from her past clients and from her partner agents. And then her partner Tracy does, I think her business is called Design by Reality. I could be mistaken with that. But she's developed a step-by-step process and has partnered with an agent and a property management group and a photographer to walk you through that first initial acquisition of an investment property, because it is scary.
Yeah.
Oh, and even though I'm in real estate, I was still very hesitant to do it. But knowing that I had a coach behind me walking me through all these steps made it a lot more enticing.
Well, and you're a numbers person too, so I always say with your investment properties, if the numbers make sense, then it's a good purchase.
Yeah. And we did buy, and we ended up, so that was November of 2020. We ended up buying property and closing on that in February of 2021.
Awesome.
Do I have those years wrong? I might be off by a year. I think maybe it was November of 2021 that they came, and we bought in February of 2022. So it was a quick turnaround. 3 months later, we had all of our ducks in a row with the financing to be able to come in with a clean offer, because at that time the market was crazy. But like you said, numbers made sense. Being able to run them through what our gross rent would be, taking off the expenses, including that property management fee.
Which is fairly reasonable, if I remember you saying.
It is. It is. A lot of places it's 10% of the gross rent.
Right.
But this company that we work with, they do I think it's $150.
I remember it was really reasonable
per door.
Yeah.
So, and I
That's
think
amazing.
they run several thousand doors in the Windsor area.
Yeah, and the unit's not in your area, right? This is Kitchener?
It's in Windsor.
Windsor, yeah.
So I've not stepped foot once in my own property.
That's what you want.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
How far is Windsor? Like 3 hours?
For us, it would be about a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And that's going through the States.
So imagine not taking on that company and you having to go down, the water's not working or whatever's happening.
Getting that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning, my toilet's overflowing.
Yeah.
Right.
But so that's why we partnered with that property management.
Yeah.
If we didn't have them, it would have to be much closer.
Yeah.
But in our area, unfortunately, the market, the numbers didn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's harder in our area, I would say. Adam and I are looking all the time, and if the numbers don't make sense, even making that small little, we always pocket $2,000 to $3,000 a year for unknowns. We add that in, and when we add that in, sometimes it doesn't work. So then we won't purchase. Yeah. So why did you choose Windsor? What was the uniqueness there?
That's where Tracy has set up.
Oh, okay.
And developed that core network with the realtor, the trusted realtor that she's got down there, and Marta Management Group. And they found that was the best area for numbers, for where it made sense for what you could buy a single family, and that's a lot of what Tracy is aiming for, is those single family, not university or post-secondary rentals, that you're looking for that mostly young. It's either a young family
just starting kind of
or the downsizers.
I love that. So you're hiring a company who knows a geographic area, even has it down to the specific farm area, and then have the niche of the target market.
And she's even more specific. That's not just a blanket over Windsor. Yeah. We are aiming for this particular area
the
of
neighborhoods.
Windsor. Yeah.
That is awesome. You know, viewers out there, if you're trying to figure out your financing and your you know, am I going to flip? Am I going to invest? It is, location is important. So important.
Yeah.
So what's your long-term goal with your rental? Are you going to hold on to it and keep it, you know, pay it off and have it as a retirement property, or is your goal to, you know, sell it in 5 years? Or
so probably halfway in between that somewhere. We know that our long range plan is, and my husband keeps coming back to that because he's a little bit further down that path, and his eyes are already on retirement. I'm not quite there yet, but he's already thinking that we would, of the 3 properties that we have, our principal residence, the Windsor rental, and we do have recreational property up on Manitoulin Island, that we would sell 2 or even 3, downsize, and just have a home somewhere in Ontario for 6 months of the year, and then we'd be gone down south somewhere in the Caribbean. He says 6 months, I say 9 months we'd be in Ontario.
That's funny.
And do you have plans to leverage that one and buy another one, or do you want just one rental?
Yeah, absolutely. Even after, as soon as we closed on Windsor, I had already thought it was stressful, don't get me wrong, but I had already thought, no, we'll give this 1 to 2 years, build up that equity. It's proven itself. And then we'll investigate, now that we've got the process under our skin and have absorbed that, we'll look at doing something, whether we do another one in Windsor because of the announcement of them building the EV plant there, or sorry, the EV battery plant in Windsor. The market will definitely stay strong down there. And also, or we could possibly look up here and do something a little bit closer to home and take out that property management fee.
Well, it's accurate. I think you get a little taste of it and you think, okay, now your radar is investment properties.
It's doable, right? And it's something that I don't know if when you go out and price a property, if you're looking at this price point, would I buy it?
Well, this is my Adam and Terry's conversation all the time. I think we should buy it. So we all go and look at it. No, not going to work. Or it is. Or we put an offer in. It's constant though, all the time, because it's the realtor hat too. Yeah. And we sometimes see those properties before other people do, just because we're in the moment. Someone's asking you for a home valuation, right?
And we can look past a lot of what other people can't. You know, we see the value that others don't, maybe.
Adam's really good at that. Like we'll come into a house that just is, you know, sometimes has a lot going on with it, and he's able to see, no, this won't take much, Jess.
Yeah.
And some of the repairs that are required, some people get shy away from.
They do.
But that's something that through the various experience that we all have, we know that it doesn't take that much to fix a leaky basement. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. And on the other end of it, you're left with a product or an inventory that's going to make money for you.
Again, it's the numbers, right? Crunching those numbers.
And it's real estate, like you're saying, investing in real estate makes sense because it's a world that I'm in. We were talking about this with a friend on the weekend, and he invests in the stock market. And I looked at him like, I have no clue how to even make my first trade. No clue.
I want to touch back on, you hired a company to help you buy your first investment property. So for those, you know, that want to get into that, this company basically coaches you through how to do that, but there is a fee. So does that fee, do you pay that up front? Does that get put into your mortgage? How does it work if somebody wanted to hire someone to help them do that?
So Tracy was fantastic. She had had a payment plan set up for those people that need it, and in installments. We did, I believe, so much has happened since. We paid her upfront, I believe, just to get started, to show her that we were invested as well. We've got money in the game, so that she could put effort into us.
Right.
And then I think the other half of the payment was due once we closed on the property.
Right.
So
that's fair. Like even with our real estate transactions, you need to put a down payment down.
Yeah. And then it was that fee is all in expense.
Yeah.
Right.
For running that business.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's a great concept. I didn't even know that type of company existed
I
for
think
helping
she's
you.
one of the first to ever put
with that rate. That's amazing. If you think of it, like you would need a lot of like employees or clients to bring in some income with that business.
Right. Yeah.
Very awesome. Cool. Okay, so always a good question. What is your biggest struggle in real estate?
Finding that, and this I feel cliche, finding that balance, right?
That's what everybody says.
Right?
So, it is, I swear, everyone so far.
And not only the work-life balance, and I've just recently started changing my routines up a bit because I was realizing there wasn't that balance.
Yeah.
And getting back into doing some exercise for myself to give myself more energy and to have some mental clarity. So I have started working out in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's been tough. It has been hard. My husband works for a 4-day work week. So he leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning and is not home until sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So if I didn't have this routine, this schedule in place, I would still be sitting at my desk at 6 o'clock when he rolled in,
right?
Which really pushed back our evenings, and dinner was then much later, and then getting the kids' stuff done, whether it's homework or lunches made or running out and I need this for school tomorrow. So yeah, working out when he leaves, I go up and do my 45-minute workout, then start my day, get ready and get into the office. And then I've also made a choice to, unless I'm out showing, I get up from my desk at 4:30 and take our dog out for a walk. Lord love him. He's got energy. So I take him out for a walk and try and wear out some of that energy so I can come back, have dinner started by the time my husband gets home. And it's made things much smoother.
That's good.
So there's that part of the work-life balance, but also balancing that pipeline. And I still struggle with this. I'm working on it. It is getting better. A couple of years ago, I had a really super crazy busy July. And because I was so focused on helping my clients through I think I had 5 closings in July.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was a lot, and I was just stick handling a lot of stuff through that. But because I was doing that, I dropped my lead gen and went dead in the water in August.
Yeah,
and
this
it
is
took
so common.
some time to build back up. That's the balance that I'm really working on now.
I think that's a really good point too for viewers is when we're in that real estate business, you're getting the deals and then the lead gen. I think we hear this from almost every agent is how do I keep both? I need the lead gen, but I'm showing property. Yeah, that's very common.
So you've been in real estate now 7 years, but you've only been with our team for 4 or 5. So touch on where you started and basically why you came to us.
So I started November of 2017. Took me just over a year to get fully licensed, and started with another Keller Williams team. Chose Keller Williams just strictly because of the mandate by Gary Keller for training. That he is huge on training, and every brokerage must have a training program in place. Otherwise you don't get your brokerage, you don't get your franchise. So knowing that I was very green and very wet behind the ears, that I needed that extra training. I needed that mentorship. Chose Keller Williams. Unfortunately, the first team that I joined, I was with them for just a year, and it wasn't working.
Right.
It wasn't jiving with me. So took the opportunity and searched out Terry. And she had been new to Keller Williams at that point too. So this would have been the late fall, early winter of 2018, and have been with her ever since, and have not looked back. Have enjoyed my time, enjoyed the team that we've built here, and like I said at the start, I've been growing.
Yeah.
And Terry has been a huge instrumental piece of that.
Oh, that's awesome. And it also takes a lot of guts and bravery to switch.
Yes.
It does.
When it's not working.
Yeah. And I always say it's okay if it's not a fit, giving yourselves permission to what do I need to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether that's a team, a brokerage,
individual.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about our life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your
It
career.
takes a lot of people, a lot of courage to even change their jobs that, to relate it to people that are outside of real estate. But it's that paycheck. I know what I know. This is comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm here.
It's the fear.
It's the fear of the unknown. But I knew that I needed to make a change.
Yeah. Well, you're a leading example. Again, women in business and our location. Because we're in the country, it is sometimes harder in our area.
For sure.
Choices are limited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Very much so.
Yeah. So all the power to Lisa, because it was a big jump, and you did it, and it worked out.
It definitely worked out.
Yeah. Could you imagine not doing that jump?
No.
Yeah. Where would your career be, do you think?
Yeah.
I don't think I would enjoy real estate as much, and I may have been one of those. What did you say the stat was? 87%
that leave.
Leave within the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And support is one of the main reasons too.
Mm-hmm.
Both as in the team and in your home at home.
Yeah.
Having that support as well, because real estate can.
Yeah. Especially because you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's a whole new ballgame.
When I started, they were 6-7 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest is now only 10.
Yeah.
So he was 3 when I started.
Wow.
Yeah, good for you. And so what are your future goals with real estate? You'll continue investing for a bit, and
I think that's probably the big thing was we'll work with what I know and look for another investment property.
Yeah.
Every year, yes, I set financial goals for myself, but I always come back to there's a thing, and I brought it with me that I say every single morning.
I love your mantra.
Yeah. To get me started and get me going.
Let's hear it.
It's please bring to me whoever it is for me to serve today wisely and effectively with the best possible outcome for that individual.
That's amazing.
Very nice.
And so that can be a client that's come to me, that are my families that I'm helping, or my own family.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
At home too.
See, it's serving and solving, not selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that mantra. And that also goes into perspective of goal setting, long-term, short-term, and really putting out to the world a positive mindset. Again, we talk mindset often of really saying clearly what you want. Yeah. Putting it out there.
So what would you tell your past self just starting in real estate?
I have always struggled with confidence. Always. So I think that would be the piece, to know that you can do this. Mm-hmm. You are smart. You are able to problem solve. You are able to logically look at a problem and solve for it.
Yeah.
Come to a solution that works for everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's very personal to share.
Yeah.
And you're right. You can do it. You just got to figure it out.
Yeah. If I put in the work, it'll happen.
It's the action.
Yeah. Do you feel like real estate has had a hand in helping you gain confidence?
Oh, it's do or die. Yeah. It's definitely do or die. Because if you don't do the work, then you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
You can't move forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
very true.
It's getting out of my own way and stop thinking about what others think of me.
Right.
Yeah. because we think you're awesome.
Yeah, we do.
And I think that's the number one thing too, is we're always worried about what others are thinking.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I read in the book. It said, oh, did you hear so-and-so? Can you pass the salad? Like, that's it. They're not really talking about you.
Yeah.
And if there is, it's short and sweet.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
And then they're not your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if they are talking about you, and then they're envious of you and what you've accomplished. Exactly. It may not come across that way. Yeah. But they are definitely, they're envious of what you've been able to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's valuable even recognizing that, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing our strengths and improvement areas. Mm-hmm. And it's practice, dedication. It's not perfect.
Progress over perfection.
Yeah.
And point blank, you're happier in life when you don't give a shit what other people think or say about you.
Oh, it's like a revolution.
Yeah,
right?
It really
you're
is.
Like you're like, yeah.
It's a whole new confident.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're power walking. It's like the runway.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? Awesome. All right, Lisa. So where can we find you?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. Or as Lisa Brocklebank, real estate broker.
Awesome.
That was one of the things that as soon as I finished my courses, I knew that I'd get another couple of years of experience under me and then go for my broker's license.
Awesome.
Lisa Brocklebank, real estate broker on Facebook, and on Instagram it's L Brocklebank.
Perfect.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us and telling us about investments and all of that.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.